Just gone 1 o'clock. It is Monday afternoon, and welcome to Rovers TV. And this afternoon's Q&A. Well, the man needs very little introduction. Fullback supreme. Welcome on board, Craig Hall. How are you doing, Craig?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you. You're looking in shape anyway, mate. You've been getting out and about and doing a bit of training, I've seen.
I'm looking tanned, aren't I? It's red hot in all.
Yeah. You haven't been on Humberside then, have you, to get that tan? Have you been in Tenerife? Is there something you're not telling us, mate?
No, it's all in all. People need to come more. You've
been down to Skeg Vegas, have you?
Not too far. Lockdown, innit? Don't go as far as my garden.
How's this lockdown and isolation thing treat you then, Craig? Have you found it hard?
Yeah, it's not been the best. Everyone's in the same boat. Just following the rules, going to shops for whatever you can. Obviously now it's lifted a bit, you can get out a bit more and entertain the young and a bit more than you have done. But luckily we've had the weather. I think if it had been in winter, we'd have been struggling, man.
Yeah, I think that I've got to echo what you say there. That if it had been sort of like October, November, December, I think it'd be a completely different ball game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So these last few weeks have been pretty nice. Hopefully, it carries on.
Let's hope for it, mate. Let's hope for it. And how typical is it that we get a nice summer weather when we can't go anywhere or do all?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But we've had to make the most of it. Obviously, people can't go away just yet on holidays and that, so we're making the most of it in gardens and getting plenty of booze from the shops, aren't we?
That's it, mate. That's it. Well, I don't know how many of these you've seen, Craig. We all kind of follow the same format with it. We'll start off. We'll ask you a few questions about when you were a youngster growing up and how you got into rugby, and then we move that on. Talk a little bit about your rugby career in general, and then we'll go into a chance for you to get your own back on a few teammates, a couple of questions about the lads, a few quick-fire questions as well, and then we will have some questions from the fans that have sent us some questions for you as well. So, starting off then, about your career today and growing up. I know you were born on the 21st of February 1988, born in Kingston upon Hull, and you have a famous dad who also played rugby league. So is that where you took your inspiration from to get into the game?
Yeah, more or less. I think growing up I didn't really have much chance to pick anything else, to be honest. My dad obviously played a lot of time for Kingston Rovers, and there was obviously my uncle, Roy Allstock as well, was the same. So all my cousins kind of played rugby. So when I got to like the age of 4 and 5, that's when it started for me.
And if you were sort of like looking back then, was it, because Hull, it's got two clubs, hasn't it? And I know you played for both. We'll touch on that slightly. But was there sort of like any pressure, initially to say, right, well, I'm going to Hull or I'm going to Hull KR?
No, not really. There's no pressure in it. I think at the time, back then, it was a bit of an easier choice because Hull KR wasn't in the Super League then. Obviously, OFC was, and when it come to the end of scholarship academy time, they just moved over to a brand new stadium at the KC, moved from Boulevard to KC, so everything was kind of going in the right way for all. And like I say, being in Super League was a big attraction for myself at that time, and I went through the scholarship academies and first team at OFC.
Where did you play your junior rugby, Craig? Where did you first pick up that ball?
I started at a club called Hull Boys Club in town. They're no longer anymore. We had a good team, to be honest, from young kids up to 14. I left there. Went to Embassy Long Hill for 2 years. But I played with Danny Houghton as a kid from Old Boys Club, and he was a bit younger than me, so he had to move on. But we had a good team, won a couple of trophies, won the Yorkshire Cup at under 12s, and progressed throughout the years. And then obviously I moved on to Embassy, which I won the National Cup with. But I played a year above 3 years. So there was the likes of Matty Dale, who played at Fev, and Frankie Mariano was in that team as well. So a couple of Fev connections.
All right. So early links to Featherstone then. And what was your first position then, Craig? Did you start off on a wing? Did you start off? Because obviously, for those people that don't know, you're quite versatile because you can play anywhere in the back line, really, can't you? I mean, stand off as well. And it's been known to get yourself in there as well occasionally.
Yeah, definitely. Growing up as a kid, I always played left centre in my amateur days, and then into academy. And I think started playing a bit utility when obviously the team gets injuries and you get moved about, and I wasn't scared of putting my hand up and having a go for the team. So wing, centre, full back, stand off. I think I played 10 minutes at back row as well for Rovers at one time, like Warrington away as well. It was. I thought, don't want to be here. But yeah, I was always a left centre coming up, but then just got moved about.
That's it. But you know what they say, don't you? Once you play in that pack, mate, you don't go back. So
yeah, well, I went back. I'm not going back.
You've done well to escape, mate. You've done well to escape. You were signed, obviously, then by Hull FC Academy, and you went into their system as a youngster. And is that sort of like, where you thought, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. I definitely want to make it as a rugby league player. Or was there always an earning for you to kind of like play rugby but do something else as well?
No, I think it was always rugby. Growing up, I wanted to be two things, which is obviously a rugby player and a fireman. Because I liked fireman Sam as a kid, so I thought, why not? But obviously the rugby took over. I did a year at college after school, but a year into that, finished it because LFC came to give me a professional contract. So I kind of dropped that, which it's not the best, but dropped that and focused on rugby.
All right. So you always fancied putting out the fire then, rather than
always been a bit of a fire bug, but that's why put that on the back burner now. See it back burner, you like that? Yeah.
That's it, mate. That's it. We'll have to get Twisted Fire started. Twisted Fire started playing for you when you score a few more tries this season.
Yeah,
to get back.
Need a few more.
After a few years at Hull FC, you then make the move across to Hull KR. Did you get a lot of stick for doing that?
No, because a couple of players have already done it before me. Obviously, Paul Cook being the most high-profile one about it. Sean Briscoe had moved over, so there was a couple that did it. And I think with the connections I had with OKR, with my dad and my uncle and everything, people kind of figured I'd probably go there maybe one day. And it was back end of 2010, just got talking to him, and a deal got put on the table and I signed it. Obviously started there 2011.
Yeah. So you didn't get much flack then. Obviously, family-wise and stuff like that, I think, like you say with your dad, they're going to be accepting of it out there. And obviously your close friends will understand, when you make a move, you're making it because you want to further your career. But some spectators, and I know people going about, derbies and rivalries and rugby league and stuff like that. But, I've been to a few Hull derbies, and it can be quite fierce, can't it? There's a lot of people that wear their heart on the sleeve in that ground, you know what I mean? Be it whether it's Craven Park or be it whether it's at Caircombe, as you say.
Yeah, they're unbelievable, the fans down here. They're passionate, both sets of sides. And luckily, from the Hull point of view, I never really got much stick at all. There was some quite supportive of me going as well. So it's it was always nice. Still a couple of close ones I speak to as well that are black and white, but I think they've always wanted me to do well, even when I was playing at Rovers. So it's been nice. But the derbies they've always been something special. I think you can't not say that one hasn't been. They've been very good.
Yeah, and obviously, I think it's made a little bit more special for you as well, isn't it? With your dad obviously playing, there as well. It's kind of like that extra. It has that extra meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I never quite got what he got. He obviously won in the 1980 Challenge Cup final, so he's always got one over on me. But no, it's not
still time yet, Craig. Still time yet.
Yeah, there is.
Obviously, like we said, you played obviously for both your hometown clubs. You then decide to make a journey more across into West Yorkshire and go to Wakefield Trinity. You then become the first announced signed player for the Toronto Wolfpack. And not only were you the first player that they signed and made the announcement, but you also became their club captain as well. So what was that experience like, Craig, for you? Obviously having that transatlantic experience, just explain a little bit of that, and what it meant to you.
Yeah, I think it helped me mature a bit, actually, because I'd always been, like I say, a utility in teams and moving about, and I got to Toronto, and everything was brilliant with the setup that they had and the coaching staff. And I sat down one day at training, and there was obviously Rolls, Finney, Aggie, and Brian Noble, and they asked how I'd like to be captain, which I didn't expect it. So I'm not the most vocal person when I'm on the field, but obviously they saw something they liked, and obviously I jumped at the chance, and it was a great honour.
And what was it like? What was the how can I put it? What was the atmosphere like? And the actual interaction again, on a day-to-day basis with the Canadian fans as opposed to the English fans. Was it great? Was it something that they really truly bought into, or was it seen as a bit of a fad at that point? And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, the ones that come from the start and obviously turned up week in week was absolutely brilliant. That year, obviously, the first year was more about promoting as much as we could. So obviously, when we was out and about and people you speak English, they ask why you're there. Then you say rugby team, and obviously they didn't know. So the crowd's built week on week, and I think the atmosphere that they've got down there for games are brilliant. And anybody that's asked about going, I've said get yourself over. It'll be a great, if your team plays there, go see.
How hard is it to play on that pitch though, Craig? Because there's that many different markings. Even my eyes go, and I think, what line are we on here? Are we where's basketball court come from?
Yeah, well, the year before, like the first year, it was worse than it was than it is now. Obviously, they've upgraded it. The year before, it was thin. It was more of a hockey pitch than a 3G pitch. So they've definitely made improvements on it. And I don't know. I guess you block that out when you're playing. You don't see too many lines, and you just get on with it.
And what sort of give us one kind of funny story then, Craig, from your time in Toronto? One that that sticks in your mind.
Well, when we first landed, obviously nobody had ever been, and they didn't give us. Obviously, it won't get on a bus and travel to the hotel we were staying. We all got cars. It was in like car shares, like 6 or 7 to a car. So I jumped in a car. We put us in the sat nav, and Johnny Pownall's driving.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, we ended up lost. It was in the middle of nowhere. I think we went opposite, like an hour opposite to Toronto. It just put something different in. But he was loving it because the houses was nice where we was. So he was getting out and obviously taking videos and that, but was a good hour away from the town centre. Obviously, we couldn't see the tower from anywhere, so we knew it was miles away.
I can't imagine Johnny Pownall getting anybody lost, mate.
Honestly, he was my roommate as well
it?
for the trip, which that was an experience in itself.
Yeah, I've had some good giggles with Johnny, and when I've been commentating, he's always good entertainment, and I like John. He's a good lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spent obviously the season in Toronto, and as expected, you went up, slayed all before you, if you like, and won the league, etc. What kind of feeling did that give you?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, to be in something brand new and start to watch it develop as it was. It was really good. And obviously, I left, and then obviously the mid Super League, and I texted a few people, and obviously Eric Perez and Brian Noble, and it was good to see. You felt a bit, still a bit of a connection with it, even though he'd moved on. And it's great for the club that they're in Super League.
But obviously, the Toronto experience, if you like, comes to one end, and then another door opens at Leigh. So you're now out of Yorkshire. You're over them big hills, mate. You've gone to the dark side, so to speak. What was that like for you? Because they all speak funny over there, Craig. I'm not having this, they were easy to understand.
I know. Well, I'd done a bit of travelling to Lancashire in 2009. I went to Widnes on loan for 5 years.
Yeah.
From LFC, which at the time had Coach Webster in the travel bus, which was again an experience. And so I'd done 5 games there, and then I didn't move out of Hull, so I did. We're still full time at Leigh, so I was doing the travelling. So it was a long year really. It was getting up at 4:30 for beating the traffic, getting over to Leigh, and then probably getting back sometimes at 4, 5 o'clock, which. It's not the best, but I'd only signed a year, so I wasn't really committed into moving anywhere just then. But we had a good travel bus, Liam Hood, John Thompson, Ben Crooks, Matty Dawson, so it made it better.
And is it true that your favourite place in Leigh was the cafe that's in the supermarket opposite the ground?
Greg's was mine. £2 breakfast meal there.
All right, somebody's giving me a bit of bum information here, Craig. I got told that you love that cafe in that supermarket opposite ground, but those who've been will know what I mean. But yeah. So Greg's indeed, mate. Greg's indeed. Sausage roll, as they say, mate. Sausage roll.
Well, bacon sandwich and coffee for £2. You can't go wrong.
You can't, mate. You can't. Last season, then, getting a bit more closer up to date, you returned to OKR, and then you've made the choice then to join Featherstone for the start of the 2020 season. How much of a role and how much influence did James Webster have on you deciding to come to Featherstone?
Well, obviously it happened quite quick. I still had a year at Rovers, and Tony didn't really have me in his plan, so it was all about moving me on. And obviously Tony and James speak, so I think within the hour James had rang me from me leaving that meeting. So he said he'd like me to come across with him. He'd see me as a valuable player of the squad. So obviously it was good. And like I said, I've done the travelling in the past, so Featherstone's not too far from me. Not too many people come to Hull, do they? So there's no traffic or anything coming and going. So what James said was good enough for me to come.
How easy was it for you then? To actually, I know you know Webber, but how easy was it for you to settle in at Featherstone? Obviously, you rock up. It's a new set of lads, which to me you've sat in quite well. Do you think the trip to Spain helped as well? To have that bit of bonding before we sort of like got a full pre-season and the start of the season under his belts. Yeah,
definitely, because obviously we don't see too much. We're not full time, so it's a couple of nights a week, and then the weekends. That little couple of day trip to Spain where everyone could just be themselves and get to know each other a bit more, it definitely helps. Like I say, I've always been in a full-time environment with lads, 5-6 days a week. So as much time as we can spend together is really good. So the trip to Spain helps, and I think we've got a good little atmosphere down at the club.
Yeah, and with it being, obviously, I know because you grew up around Rugby Craig and like you, but them if you like road trips as I call them, the part of that team bonding, aren't they? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the only real one apart from Spain we've had this year is a trip to London. And I know I spoke to one or two other lads like Ben, Blackie, last week, and they were saying that the atmosphere after that game back on the bus home was great. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone grew up, sang a song, and it was meant to be just the new ones, but it ended up the full squad. And I think on the back of the performance that we put in, it deserved to be a good atmosphere on the way home. I thought we played really well that day. Kind of the conditions that I think our team will thrive in. So the sooner we can get on a field in this kind of weather, the better, really.
Yeah, because you had a strong start to pre-season and also the season. You also got identified a few times as somebody else. And we we won't go into it, mate. I promise. So you must have been disappointed, when the season was put on hold.
Yeah, I think there's been games we've won and we haven't played, too good. There's definitely improvements in our team, but I think that London game was probably the best 80 minutes we've put together, and it kind of put a bit of a statement out to the rest of the league that we're not here just to make numbers up. We want to be pushing towards the end of the year, and to go there and do that to a London team who obviously they lost a few players coming down from Super League, but they've still got a strong squad. And to go there and do that, what we did to them was I thought was impressive.
Yeah, good gig, good game, good result, and a real statement, if you like, to the rest of the league, wasn't it? That we're here and we intend to do business.
Definitely. I mean, we've played some, in the weather that we played. Obviously, Batley away, Bradford away. There could be tricky games, but I think we've seen them out well without playing probably to our ability. So we're quite confident when we can get back playing and the weather's good, we can start throwing the ball about and enjoying rugby.
I can imagine that, just like the rest of us, really, you're really looking forward to getting back out there as soon as it's safe to do so. And obviously, we've seen developments in the NRL this weekend. So hopefully, if somebody sees a bit of sense, it shouldn't be too long before we're, you're back out there. You might be playing in an empty stadium, Craig, but I suppose that's just like a trip to Barrow, isn't it? Really. So, sorry, mate.
Yeah, well, it's like obviously when we went away for the Toronto games, we didn't really have many people there. So I think the sooner the better. When we get playing, it needs to happen. Needs to happen soon. I think all the lads are chomping at the bit, really.
Okay, Ollie. I'm going to ask you some questions now about your teammates. You can be as open and as honest as you want. Keep it clean. It's a family show, because you know what I'm saying. But please be, on the point, mate. Who in this current squad of Rovers players have you known the longest?
Probably Fergie. Grew up with Fergie through Yorkshire camps, and he came to Rovers on loan a few years ago when I was there. So yeah, Fergie.
Okay. Who would you say fancies himself the most? Who's the one that's always like, look at me, I'm, Mr. Pretty?
Blackie rates himself, doesn't he? He can't go much further than Blackie.
But if you've seen that training video of his mate that he's put out, you know what I mean? Them moves are proper bouncing. All I can say is them moves are in action, mate, on that video.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he fancies himself.
Who would you least like to be stuck on a desert island with?
Probably Hardy. It'd be all right for the first 10 minutes, and then he'd just still made it.
Poor Hardy. He gets some right flack, does Hardy. And he's such a nice, quiet lad, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very, very quiet.
I think people have got him all wrong, mate. Talking of Hardy, who would you like to go for a drink with the most?
I don't know, really. I don't. Probably Lockie. We have a bit of a talk about gambling, a couple of horses and football, what have you. So we'd have a drink and have a bet.
Right. So you into the GGs then a bit?
Yeah, well, it's Newcastle today at 1, isn't it? I've missed the first race. Thanks for that. But,
Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't mind a bet on a weekend. Really.
All right, mate. Right. I'll have to come for a few tips then.
None from me.
No, I think last horse I backed, mate, he's still running now. And that was about 5 years ago. I don't think he's...
Won't be far from mine.
Who would you say is the funniest member of this squad? Who just cracks you up all the time?
Do you know what? I don't know. I just try and keep myself out of it, to be honest. I don't get involved in other people's antics. But I'll tell you what I do think is really funny, Greg, our trainer.
Yeah?
He's just so dry, and the stuff he comes out with it's my kind of humour.
Yeah, I think we might have to try and get Greg on actually and do one with him. And
I think it'd be entertaining.
Yeah, because he does sound quite a character. Who can bench press the most?
Surely it must be Fergie. Surely, size of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be Fergie anyway. He can't even put his elbows close together. He's that big.
All right. Because one or two of your teammates have said that the old assassin. They said he's got a bit of power in him.
Yeah, I think Fergie's the man.
Yeah, Fergie. We'll go with Fergie, mate. I wouldn't argue with Fergie. I might argue with the assassin, but I wouldn't argue with Fergie. If you had to, and say this lockdown had have happened, and we were in isolation, Craig, and you'd have had to spend it with one teammate, who would it have been?
Oh, God. I don't know. Like, I'm not a people person, to be honest. I go there, train, I leave. I stay as little as possible.
I can't say I've noticed, mate.
Yeah, in and out. That's me. Probably Lockie again. He'd be pretty chilled when he would have a few beers and that.
Yeah, it's about picking who you get on with, innit? You know what I mean? And who
yeah, he's one of the old ones like me, and he. So I won't pick a young kid.
That's it. Looking at the squad that we've got, Craig, who would you say, and you can include yourself in this, who would you say would make a good future head coach?
Obviously, Brett's been about a bit. He should know some of his stuff. I think in videos, it's always John Davis that pipes up. He's yet to play this year, but he loves the sound of his own voice when we're in video. So maybe John.
Good stuff. Right, Craig. Quick fire answers then. One word from you. Right, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Sweets or crisps?
Crisps.
Brown sauce or ketchup?
Ketchup.
Would you have pineapple on your pizza or pineapple off your pizza?
Never have pineapple, ever.
Cats or dogs, mate?
Dogs. Cats. Horrible things. Who has cats?
Early morning or night bird?
Probably a bit of both. Early.
A night out with the lads or a night in with the missus?
Night in.
Stay safe, mate. Yorkshire or Lancashire?
Yorkshire.
East or West Yorkshire?
East.
League trophy or Challenge Cup?
Challenge Cup.
Old Trafford or Wembley?
Wembley.
Club or country?
Club.
Hull FC or Hull KR?
KR.
Oh, there's he's pinned his colours to the Robins. So we'll go with that. We'll take that one, Craig. That will be edited and put out later, mate. We'll do another version, so we'll keep everybody happy. We're flying through this, Craig. It's been great chatting to you, mate. And it's good that you can come on board and share with us a few things. I've got a few questions from some fans now.
Yeah.
First one up, Alexa Atkinson asks, what was the strongest squad you were a part in Super League?
You set me Alexa off, saying Alexa. Alexa, shut up. It's hard on that because there's been some really good squads actually. When I first started, I was playing with the likes of Richard Swain, and I got the back end of Stephen Kearney, which was really good in 2005. But I think 2010 at OFC we signed a pretty strong squad. The likes of Craig Fitzgibbon came over, Mark O'Mealy, Sean Longsam there, so Sean Borrigan was still there. So I think probably that 2010 OFC squad was pretty strong.
Yeah, quite a strong squad. Was Minicello there as well?
No, he was. I was before him, but
right.
Obviously O'Mealy still had the likes of Willie Manu.
Yeah.
Loaki Sammo was there, so it was a strong squad.
Lewis Jackson, if it's Louise or Lewis, I apologise. Ask, how highly do you rate this current Featherstone squad, and do you think that it could hold its own against some of the Super League teams that you've played for?
Yeah, I think the squad that's been put together is very good. I don't think we haven't got as much depth as we'd like. Obviously, we've had a few injuries in the backs and whatnot, and we've had to sign obviously Greg Wellington on loan. To help us out there. So I think when we've got the strongest squad that we've got on paper out there, I think we could be able to challenge, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll be challenging for that top spot and hopefully promotion.
Adam Newby asks, who is your rugby idol and what has been the highlight of your career?
I think obviously been named captain of Toronto, the first ever captain, is it's always going to be there for me. Great experience. I think as an idol, as growing up, obviously my dad was massive for me, and obviously if I was going to see playing, Anthony Sullivan obviously went from Hull to St Helens and won quite a few things, so I always kind of followed him. Until he finished.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. A young lad who you know called James Harrison, he's asked me to ask you if you can sing some Moana and ask him what that's all about. So, spotlight over to you. Here's your 2 seconds of fame, Craig.
No, I'm not doing any singing, but obviously it was on about the trip back from London. All the boys were singing a song, and it was your normal karaoke songs where everybody picks, and I picked "You're Welcome" out of Moana, the Disney film, because obviously having a young girl, you see all these Disney films and you put the songs on playlists, so you pick them up a bit. So I thought I'd treat the boys to that.
And did it go down well?
Yeah, it did actually. I think the boys liked it. Even a couple of the boys watched the film after I sang, so couldn't have been too bad.
Yeah, you've had an influence on them, Craig. You've left your mark. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, Craig, we've come to the end of this afternoon's Q&A. We're nearly out of time. If I can ask you very quickly, Craig, if you've got a message for the fans.
Yeah, just obviously stick with us, stick with everything. Not too sure when you can come watch us play again, but obviously when we do get playing, we'll be doing our best to keep up that top end of the table. And like I say, hopefully by the time you be able to come back, we'll be pushing for the final. Well,
Craig, a massive thanks from me, buddy. It's always good to see you and chat with you. And at least I got your name right this time. So
yeah, you got on.
You'll not be falling out with me. We hope all the viewers that have tuned in, and thanks to the people that sent in questions. We hope you've enjoyed it. It's another Rovers TV Q&A. Next week we'll have another victim. I mean, we'll have somebody else sat there for a grilling. Who it'll be yet, we don't know. Listen, we know that lockdown is being eased. We know that a few regulations are changing. So again, just stay safe, everybody. Let's keep at it. And rugby league will be back sooner than we know it. Thanks, Ollie. Have a good afternoon, mate. Go back some GGs and send me some tips.
Cheers. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Yeah.